cast your mind back to 1996, if you can, do you remember the buzz that there was around the fact that scientists had created Dolly the sheep, the world's first mammal cloned from an adult cell?
Nearly 3 decades on, and cloning technology has come a long way. In some countries, you can even clone your pet, as Stephanie Hegarty tells us.
500 million people around the world have a dog or a cat at home.
But we know that sooner or later we're going to have to say goodbye to them. They don't live as long as we do. But what if you didn't have to?
What if you could clone your pet? In the past 20 years, this technology has moved on so much it's become accessible, although the costs are high, about $50,000. People can now clone animals from livestock to show horses, race horses, and even cats and dogs.
Samples for genetic preservation and cloning are mainly taken in the UK and Europe after the animal has passed away. And the first process we do once the samples arrive with us is we preserve the DNA to store it indefinitely for the owner so that they can bring those skin samples back to life when they want to think about cloning. To clone an animal, all we actually need is one of these little piles of skin here. I'll place one of these piles of skin into each of these vials. They contain our special freezing media, which is really key to this process of being able to freeze the samples down to -196 and retain the integrity of the DNA to be able to create living cells from them in the future. The second stage is the cell culture, and that's where we try and replicate the individual cells that make up the skin sample, so the client has cultured cells ready to move on to the stage of cloning. When the owner's ready to clone, we ship the samples to the USA for them, and that's where the actual cloning takes place.
The first step of cloning is enucleation. So what you would do is you would take eggs from some females, and you would denucleate the eggs, turn them into a blank egg. The second step in cloning is reconstruction. You would take one cell from the animal you want to clone and insert it right into that blank egg. The third step is fusion and activation. That kind of mimics what an egg and sperm would do, that day 0 embryo. Once that's done, the eggs get transferred into our surrogates, and the surrogate will have the babies naturally. Clones are very similar to the original animal, but there are some epigenetic factors, for example, environment, what they eat, what experiences this new clone is going to have, that could make it a little different than the original.
This is Belle, and my name is Kelly, and I cloned my cat. A lot of people think that I wanted to bring my cat back from the dead, but that really was not the case at all. I just wanted to carry on a piece of my cat. I'm not rich by any means. I'm a broke dog trainer, so I took out a loan to clone Belle.
Cloned animals are essentially genetic twins to their original. Like human twins, they can look different. It all depends on how they develop in the womb. Even their fur pattern can be different.
Their temperament is the exact same, so they're both bold, sassy, bossy, cats with attitude, but their markings are actually different. I really wanted to be careful in the fact that I treated Belle as an individual and not as just a copy of my other cat.